Hi guys, it's me, Vince, and we're back on another video. In this topic, we are discussing about the solar system. The solar system was formed on a cosmic galactic nebula, which is mostly made of hydrogen and other elements. Because of gravity, those hydrogen fuse together in thermonuclear fusion, creating incredible amounts of energy. The remaining mass of the cosmic nebula is formed by the planets and other celestial bodies. There are three types of planets found in solar system. First is the terrestrial planets. The terrestrial planets are planets that have a rocky surface and have a solid metallic core inside of it. Second are Jovian planets. Jovian planets are divided into two. First are gas giants. Gas giants are planets that have gases in the surface instead of rocky materials, such as hydrogen. Example of this is Jupiter and Saturn. Ice giants. Ice giants are planets that have a different elements in their core. Rather than hydrogen and helium, they have volatiles. Volatiles are elements that have methane, ammonia, and water. We also have dwarf planets. Dwarf planets are planets that are not capable of having a strong gravity field.
For an object to qualify as a dwarf planet, it only had to meet two criteria. 1. It must orbit around the Sun. 2. It must be massive enough for its own gravity to pull it into a spherical, or mostly spherical shape. Planets had a third qualification they had to meet. They must have cleared their orbits of other objects. Since dwarf planets often share their orbits with asteroids, comets, debris, and even other dwarf planets, this third point made it easier to tell the difference between a planet and a dwarf planet. There are currently 5 officially recognized dwarf planets in the solar system: Ceres, Pluto, Eris, Haumea, and Makemake. It completes one rotation every 9 hours and one orbit around the Sun every 4.6 years. Ceres has no moons or rings, but it does have a very thin atmosphere, which contains traces of water vapor. It is the smallest of the recognized dwarf planets, with a diameter of 590 miles or 950 kilometers. Ceres became the first of the dwarf planets to be visited by a spacecraft when the Dawn space probe entered its orbit on March 6, 2015. Pluto is the largest and most well-known dwarf planet. It was regarded as the 9th planet from its discovery in 1930 until its reclassification in 2006. Pluto is small and made of rocky ice, and it rotates slowly with a day that is 6.4 Earth days long. Because it is usually farther from the Sun than Neptune, it takes 248 years for it to complete a single orbit around the Sun. Pluto has a thin atmosphere made of nitrogen, methane, and carbon monoxide. Like Ceres, Pluto has no rings. Unlike Ceres, Pluto has 5 moons, including Charon, which is so large that Pluto and Charon are sometimes called binary or double dwarf planets. Pluto was visited by the New Horizons spacecraft in July of 2015. Capturing stunning images of the former planet and raising new questions about the composition and structure of this cold and distant world. Eris was named for the Greek goddess of discord and strife, which is fitting since the discovery of Eris is what prompted arguments about Pluto's status as a planet. When it was discovered in 2005, NASA initially called Eris the 10th planet, but discoveries of multiple other large objects in the area caused them to reconsider. Eris is slightly smaller than Pluto, but it is estimated to be more massive and it is believed to be covered with methane ice. It has one known moon, Dysnomia. Eris and its moon are two of the most distant known objects in the solar system, traveling much farther from the Sun than Pluto does. It is estimated that Eris will take 558 years to complete one orbit around the Sun. The discovery of another dwarf planet, Haumea, was announced in 2005. Unlike the rest of the dwarf planets, Haumea is oblong instead of shaped like a ball. Haumea appears to have water ice on its surface and is one of the fastest spinning large objects in the solar system, completing a turn once every 4 hours. Its orbit is only a little longer than Pluto's, taking 284 years to travel once around the Sun. Haumea, named for the Hawaiian goddess of fertility and childbirth, has 2 known moons. The moons, Hayaka and Namaka, are named for 2 of the goddess's daughters. The 5th and final dwarf planet currently recognized is Makemake. Makemake was also discovered in 2005 and was named for the creator god in the mythology of the Rapa Nui people of Easter Island. Like the other dwarf planets of the Kuiper Belt, Makemake is covered in ices, made of methane, ethane, and possibly nitrogen ice. Although its diameter is only about 2/3 of Pluto's, Makemake's icy surface makes it the second brightest object in the Kuiper Belt, after Pluto. In 2016, it was discovered that Makemake has at least one moon, which is as yet unnamed. Astronomers believe that there are hundreds of objects in the solar system that are likely to be dwarf planets. As scientists continue to study them, it is likely that more and more will be added to our list.
We also have comets, asteroids, and Kuiper belts. Kuiper belt is found at the edge of our solar system, while the asteroid belt is found at the center and the middle of the Mars and Jupiter.
In 1992, David Jewett and Jane Liu discovered the Kuiper belt. It is a collection of icy objects outside the orbit of Neptune. There may be millions of these icy objects, known as Kuiper belt objects, KBOs, or trans-Neptunian objects, TNOs. So what do you find in the Kuiper belt? Probably the most famous object is the dwarf planet Pluto. However, you will also find bits of rock and ice. In addition, you will find dwarf planets and KBOs, Kuiper belt objects. Some of these objects may enter the inner solar system and become comets. When you hear the term asteroid belt, you may envision something that looks like this. The asteroid belt is a collection of rocks and ice found between Mars and Jupiter. It's roughly found 2 AUs to 4 AUs from the Sun. Objects in the asteroid belt range from pebbles to dwarf planet Ceres, and there may be over 500,000 asteroids that have been discovered. However, it is estimated that if you combine all the mass of the asteroids together, it would only be the size of a very small moon. One misconception people may have is that the asteroid belt does look like this, with the asteroids very close together. In reality, most of the objects are up to 100,000 kilometers apart. So what are the asteroids made of? Fortunately, you can study meteorites to figure this out. Meteorites have a large variety of composition, but generally are composed of iron, nickel, silicates, and carbon. Thanks for watching, and Moo Moo Math uploads a
So, I hope you learned something about the solar system today, and thank you for watching this video. See you to the next video. Bye!